Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to and welcome back for those who are new and for those who are returning. It's good to see you guys again. Uh, as odd as that might sound, good to see y'all. Yeah, it's good to have y'all back. We are going to enter into Tag Tuesday and we're going to talk about this tag that we're going to do today. Now, this particular tag, I was not tagged in by anybody. I kind of volunteered for this one. This is the Bring Browsing Back tag. Okay, so as I said, I was not tagged in this one, but I believe this to be like the main primary basis of my channel. So I couldn't resist. And I mean, it's basically how I nearly find almost all my reading material is through browsing. So when I saw this tag, I just thought, oh, I gotta do this one. I gotta do this one. Now it is an older tag, and it started originated from Karen from @roving_reader, and yeah. So let's do this, right? Okay. All right, so there's only 4 prompts, and I've got them all lined up here. I've got a couple of books for each, actually maybe one for one of the titles, but each of the other titles has several books in each for each prompt. So bear with me as we get through this. Okay, so the very first one is The Magic of Discovery. Share a book you found while browsing that you may not have discovered otherwise. And yes, lo and behold, that is the main reason why I browse. So almost everything I do is almost everything I do. I started to found a couple of titles that I actually, by specific authors that I actually went looking for. But for the most part, I usually just go see what I can find. And so today we're going to talk about the Kydd series from Julian Stockwin. Right now, I've got Kydd, which is the first title, and Artemis, which is the second title in the same series. Now, this is a very long series. These are books that were written. They were written in 2001 through 2019. There are 15 books in this series, which is another reason why I probably would not have discovered this otherwise. Not only do I not do a lot of series, I don't do long ones, but this particular story seriously caught my attention. Now, Europe is at war. They're at war, and the British are fighting against the French, right? Or actually, yeah, they're fighting. Bear with me, I'm sorry. So Britain decided to launch a naval fleet and off the coast of France. And they didn't have a lot of naval people to man this fleet. So the majority of the ships that were involved in this siege, no, it's not a siege, this maneuver, let's just say it's a maneuver, it's a move, I don't know what it is. Anyway, they fill the ships up. They man the ships with regular, everyday British folk. And so Thomas Kydd, who's the main protagonist in the story, he's a wig maker, and he's placed on one of these ships to man the ships as they go and try to fight this war. And of course, he ends up trying to. He's among other folks, plain folk, common folk, not soldiers, not naval seamen. These are just everyday, regular folk with regular, everyday jobs that have shops and centers in the local city. And now they're off to war. And so Thomas Kydd ends up working his way up through this entire series to become Captain Kydd. And he is motivated and becomes self-challenged by watching the level of proficiency of the other guys, how hard they work, the whole nine. And so he ends up wanting to be a better soldier, better sailor, and ends up becoming Captain Kydd eventually. And so this whole story here, this whole storyline, and the books are, I think it was the book presentation that really got me. I found this at a free library. Just the print, the size of the book, the book covers. I love the book covers. Look at the book art on that. Right? That's Kydd. That's the first title. This is the second title, Artemis. And just the covers on these books. And I saw that they were sitting together. So now, lo and behold, I am going to go get the rest of the series. Julian Stockwin is a celebrated author, and I just got a feel. I haven't read them yet. I just got a feeling it's going to be really, really great to read those. All right, so that's the first two of a 15-book series. I would have not have found this if I had not been browsing. Prompt number 2, expanding world. Share a book that's made you view things from a different perspective or expose you to new ideas. We've got quite a few in this list. We're going to start off, we're going to say the best for last. We're going to start off with one of the first ones, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that's by Robert Kiyosaki. And it's basically his recollection of this is a nonfiction book, a self-help development book. It's I don't have it anymore, but I will put up an image of it. But basically, growing up, he had two dads. Basically, right? His real father, his paternal father, and his best friend's dad. His dad was a hard worker, regular, everyday Joe Schmo, and his friend's dad was rich, right? And basically, this book is what the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and the middle class don't, right? And very good book that advise you financially on how to handle your money, right? Another one that helped expose me to different perspective on how to do certain things is Gino Wickman, who wrote Get a Grip and Traction. I also don't, those are audio books for me, so I don't have those on hand either, but once again, I will display those here for you. But Gino Wickman wrote Get a Grip and Traction. And basically, it's just how to operate your business as an entrepreneur. And a lot of the principles, viewpoints, and perspectives, they work excellently for running a business, but they also help you just as an employee, as an individual who's working part of a team or a community. Really, really excellent book. Get a Grip, Gino Wickman. Traction, Gino Wickman. Now, Get a Grip was written in a partnership with Mike Patel. But yes, another good book. So that and then we're going to go on to Power Filled Living by R.A. Torrey. And basically, these are just how to take biblical principles and use them to the development of yourself. Also, another nonfiction book, but these are principles on how to behave, how to act, how to see certain things. So that was very impactful to me. And then also Leonard LeSourd's Strong Man, Weak Man. Another great book, nonfiction, based on principles, based on biblical principles on how to be a better man, stronger man, right? Great books, self-explanatory. If you haven't had them before, I still have them, still review them. Good books, good books. Oh, and by the way, the Kydd series is historical fiction. Historical fiction. And prompt number 3, open to change is the prompt. This is share a book that has changed who you are as a person or altered your day-to-day habits. Now, I'll be honest with you, there isn't a single book out there that affects me in that way except one. And is it cliche? I don't know. I read for entertainment. I might learn a concept or a principle or whatever, but the books that I read, regardless of fiction or nonfiction, they don't really change me. My mama raised me in such a way where I like to stay founded, and I just feel great the way that I am. I can always learn something new, but the foundation of who I am, it's been founded for a very, very long time, and for as far back as I can recall. And we're just going to go. Who's the author? That's the answer for the book, for that prompt. Right? Share a book that is now. I do have a tendency to read. This is the new revised standard version of the Holy Bible. However, I do still read the King James, right? Not the New King James. King James. I have several different volumes, of course, and no matter where I go, this was the one that was given to me when I was on active duty, and this one actually contains the Deuteronicals and the Apocrypha on these as well. So that those are books of the Bible that aren't included in the actual Holy Bible, but they are books that are considered in conjunction, but they just weren't indoctrinated into the actual word. So I got the Deuteronicals on there as well, and Holy Bible, beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? It's the only book that I've ever read, that actually changed me as a person. Simple. And the last prompt, very simple one, right? And the last prompt was browse a bookstore, a library, or a friend's shelves and talk about a book you found. Okay, so what I'll do is, like I said, almost every single title I've got is from the library, the free library, book swap, right? If I own it, more than likely I got it from the free library, or I ended up finding it at the library and just decided to buy it. But we're going to talk about the two books the most recent two books that I've collected from the free library. Okay, and this is The Glass Castle by Jeannette walls. And basically, it's about the resilience and the redemption of a dysfunctional family, how they were able to last. So the children themselves, they actually have to learn how to take care of, because the parents are dysfunctional, right? The father is a great father, except when he drinks. And the mother is a decent person. However, she doesn't want to foster a family. She doesn't want to be a mentor. She doesn't want a mother, right? And so she is always in defiance of the family structure, while the husband is, he's good as a dad as long as he's sober. The kids grow up, they become self-sufficient, they run off, and then the parents kind of follow them. And that is The Glass Castle. I just got this book. I'm very interested in getting into this one. I love family, and I guess naturally they're dysfunctional, but yes. And they end up having enough problems, right? But anyway, so the next one is another book by Yvonne Harris. This is The Vigilante's Bride. And basically, this is in 1800s. Did I say that? I keep going back to this because I'm very interested in this title. I'm so sorry about that. But even though this was written in the 20th century, the story takes place in the 18th century. Okay, just so that you know. Okay, now, this is also written in the 18th century, right? So this is the Montana Territory. Basically what happens is the main protagonist, Luke Sullivan, was robbed. And he retaliates by robbing the stagecoach that contains the property that was stolen from him. Unfortunately, when he gets there, he finds out that there was a woman on board who was actually on her way to be married to the local rich guy, right? It sounded kind of weird when I read I haven't read it yet. I haven't read either one of these yet. But it sounded kind of weird because it looks like, I don't know if it's probably an arranged marriage, right? And she's kind of happy she got kidnapped, but not happy at the same time. Like, she wants to go. I mean, this is the place to go. This is the guy to go to. He's the richest guy in the area. He owns everything, and I'm about to be his bride. I might as well go, right? But she gets kidnapped, and of course, it's called the Vigilante's Bride. So therefore, she ends up falling in love with the guy who ends up saving her because she was. That's the way to me it sounds like. He attacks the. He attacks the carriage and ends up getting his stuff back. But in the process, this woman was in the back of the carriage as well. So he frees her from the bandits. She ends up traveling with him. And through all of their ins and outs, I guess she ends up falling for the guy. So The Vigilante's Bride. And that one, I don't believe this is a standalone title by Yvonne Harris. So, browsing. You gotta love browsing. Now, be advised that nothing in the second category, none of those books were found through browsing. They were all recommended to me, right? So, Get a Grip, Traction, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Strong Men, Weak Men, and Power-Filled Living are all titles that were recommended to me. And actually, these two books were actually given to me by the men of the church. So, didn't even have to pay for those. They were given to me by the men of the church that I was attending to at the time. So I think that does it. I love browsing. I love walking through the library. I love going through, just trying to find what I can find. So I thank you for joining me, and I really, really hope that you continue to enjoy your day. This is a great week, and I just hope you all continue to just keep on reading. And is customary with completing a tag, I am going to tag 4 others. Renee at Beyond Books, you have been tagged. Bob at Bob Can Read. You have been tagged. Karen at Libranaut 2806, and Alan from Alan's Reads. Tagged. You're it. Please forgive if you've already done them. Please forgive if you don't do them. But if you do, I hope you do. I'll be looking forward to your videos. Keep reading, y'all.